To measure the scalene, again, we're going to go into do cervical lateral flexion. So here we come down to the side. I'll measure with my very sophisticated measuring device. We're missing by 3 fingers. Bring her back up. Come down over to this side. And we're missing by 2. Now, in order for the camera to actually shoot this, we're going to go ahead and have her lie down in a sideline position, right here with your shoulder in the hole. And in this position, I need my 2 pillows. Again, in a sideline position, I like to put a pillow between the knees, and that'll take pressure off the low back. And in the front, I like to have a pillow, or preferably a teddy bear, but here we have a pillow. And let's move this just a little bit lower down so the camera can see that. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to come to the angle of the neck, and I'm going to locate her upper trapezius. Now from C5 to C7 is where we're going to be getting the lower fibers, the posterior fibers of the scalene. So I'm going to come in between the transverse process, just and the upper trapezius. I can palpate those fibers, they're not hard to find at all. If I was having a problem, I'd have her lift her head up and I could feel that contract and come under my fingers. I'll come right down here and treat that lower position of the posterior scalenes. And then after I do the lower position, I'm going to be coming to treat the middle fibers. Now the middle fibers, if I bring my hand on the side of the neck and lower my fingers down until I feel the bony protrusion of the transverse process, from C2 to C7 is where I'm going to be locating the fibers of the middle fibers of the trapezius. So I'm going to roll directly in front of those, and there'll be a slit of the muscle coming off of each area. So if she lifts her head up, I can feel that underneath my fingers. Again, move my fingers back and forth slightly. I'll be able to treat that at each level as I come down. And whenever I'm in doubt as the location, again, I would have her lift her head up. That will continue to jump into my fingers. Now, between the anterior and middle fibers, we're going to have the brachial plexus emerging. So if I want to get the anterior fibers, I'm going to come to the angle of the neck. They come from C3 through C6. So if I come behind the sternocleidomastoid, in front of the transverse process, in front of the middle fibers, I'll be able to locate these directly behind the sternocleidomastoid. Have her lift her head up, and I can feel that contract under my fingers. And now we'll have some pressure off of that brachial plexus. I can again follow this down again, test again, okay? And hopefully we'll get a little bit of range of motion change at the end of this. Okay. When I get done, I can follow this up with a passive stretch prior to having her do the stretch. The stretch for this will be the same thing she already did for the range of motion test. So let's sit her up and retest her and give her the stretch. So to do this, she'll sit on the one hand, bring her ear over towards the opposite side, and we're down to 2 fingers rather than 3. So a nice stretch throughout the area. She can breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth in order to make this work. The other thing she can do is she can specify fiber angles. This particular angle is going to be specifying the middle fibers. If she wanted to stretch the anterior fibers, she'd bring her nose down, and that would be bringing her left ear down towards her scapula. If she wanted to emphasize the anterior fibers, she'd bring her left ear down towards her chest on the front. So now we've got 3 different fiber angles to stretch out the scalenes. At the end of it, she uses her hand to lift her head back up, and we've taken care of the scalenes.